Welcome to Expanding Your Search with Brent and Jody Bailey. We are growing our circles of connection and knowledge with encouraging conversations and positive communications. Today, Brent and Jody welcome
business owner and fitness coach, JVo.
And now, here are your hosts, Brent and Jody Bailey.
Hey everybody, welcome to Expanding Your Search. It's Brent Bailey. It is Monday. Hopefully you're having a good start to the week. I know that we always kind of dread Mondays, but the kids are back in school and things are progressing nicely into the fall season as we are here in the middle of October already, and I guess trick-or-treat day is right around the corner. And we just celebrated 9 years of the church we pastor in Orlando. I'm going to head over to the control booth right now where Jody is sitting by waiting to join me. And we just celebrated 9 years yesterday.
We did. We really did. And it's just amazing it's been that long.
It feels like we just moved there. I mean, just like...
I know. It does.
It's just so amazing. I mean, and you know what, though? When you look back and you get to the anniversary, it does feel like it's been fast. But when you look back at some of the, like some of our pictures and stuff that we were looking at, I'm like, oh, man, that feels like it was a long time ago.
Really. I mean...
It's such a weird place to be in.
It is. You think about how little our kids were.
Yes.
I mean, Peyton was bald.
Yes.
Pretty much.
He was only 1 year old.
He was about a year and a half.
And Preston was 5.
I know. It's crazy.
And now when you talk to Preston, it's like, hello, Dad.
I know, exactly.
And Peyton
our viewers have seen him and heard him.
Super athletic and just, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's always
it's
fun to have an anniversary and another milestone, and we start year number 10 today.
Yes.
So we're in our 10th year of pastoring a church, and it's really something to look back on. So happy anniversary.
Yes, happy anniversary to you and to all those from Direction Church.
Yeah. It's funny because we are in today's show. We're actually going back further than 10 years to when we were youth pastors in Oklahoma.
Yes.
And we had a family in our church. We had Johanna on a few weeks ago.
Yes, we did.
And she's just one of many of the success stories of kids that we've seen raise up and do something. Today is another one. We had a family in our church of we had all 3 of the girls. We had 3 of the sisters, and their parents were very involved in the church. And we actually bought a car from him. Do you remember when we bought a car from Greg?
Yes.
So we were
Mercedes?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And so we have always just had a great relationship with the whole family. And JVo, who used to be Benedict, is going to be here today to talk about, being a young businesswoman in this day and age, but also her fitness program that she's helping coach. She wrote the workout that you and I and Preston do 3 days a week in the gym. And so I'm really excited to get to talk to her. She's doing
a lot.
Listen, we could have that entire family come on the show.
We really could.
And all 5 of them could say something special.
Exactly. So. I mean, because all 3 of the girls were super involved in youth group, and they just haven't stopped in, what they're doing. They're very driven, driven girls.
Totally. And Michelle's leading worship around the world. And
yes.
Vicky was our nanny for a while and watched Peyton and she's also into the fitness thing as well, and she's just they're all 5 of them are just extremely special people. So we're excited to have them on the show today.
Yes.
So Jackie will be out here in just a little bit, but first, before we get to that, what's going on around the world?
Today is Columbus Day.
Oh, it is.
Did you know
yes,
that?
It is.
I forgot. I was like until. Looking up the day, I was like, oh yeah, it is. It's Columbus Day.
Yes.
It, popped up on my phone.
And there's a movement out there trying to get rid of it, and all kinds of things.
It just, no. You know what? I don't know. I'm not going to say anything else because we don't really want to do that. But today we do celebrate the day that Christopher Columbus landed in America. It was in 1492. 1492.
That was
Columbus
sailed the ocean blue. That's right. And so that was almost 300 years before the United States was formed.
Exactly. So so a lot of. It's not really. I want to say there used to be. I think we had school off on Columbus Day.
We used to, yes, we did.
But our kids.
No, they don't really recognize it as a big deal
anymore. They don't. So, and I always look forward to a day that the kids get to be off school.
Yeah, well, they were just off for fall break, so.
They were, yeah.
Anyway.
So happy Columbus Day.
All right, happy Columbus Day to you. What else is going on?
Today is also. It goes right alongside Native American Day.
Yes.
And though this is it's National Native American Day, but there's probably not as many celebrations in every single state. But they do really emphasize celebrations, different things going on in states like California and South Dakota. And I say that because that's where I'm from. And I'm sorry, my family's going to be disappointed. I don't remember which Native American tribe is in my blood. But
well, it's funny that you say that because
yours too.
On the Bailey side,
yes.
my great-grandfather Harry, his wife Marthy as they called her. Marthy Short. I believe it was either her or, now I may be off, I might be meaning my great. It's either my great-grandmother or my great-great-grandmother was a full-blooded Cherokee Indian.
On your mama's side, correct?
No, on
Papa's
side.
Okay.
The Bailey side.
The Bailey side.
They were full. Okay. She was full-blooded squaw, as they say, and so it is in our blood as well. And I'm pretty sure I'm wrong on that. It is the great.
Okay.
And so anyway, it's a great Heritage Day.
It is.
We lived in Oklahoma for 11 years, probably longer than that if you
Yes.
combine all the time we were there for school. More like 13 to 15 years we lived there. That's the capital of the Indian Nation.
Yeah.
Is in Oklahoma, and of course you can't turn your head without seeing some kind of reference to Native Americans and the heritage that they bring to the table, and we
Their
know
cultures and
it's beautiful. Absolutely
it really
beautiful.
is. My aunt, my dad's sister, my Aunt Lois, who she made, I think, the groom's cake for our wedding or something. She made something. I think that's what it was. She actually goes and serves one of the tribes in South Dakota, and she has for years. And she's in her 80s, but she's very committed to doing that. So,
well, happy Native Americans Day to all of those who are of that heritage.
Yep.
And those the rest of us who are celebrating. Well, I guess we are of that heritage.
Yeah,
but
we are.
Those are the rest of the country that is celebrating it today, because
there is.
This country is what it is because of them. So,
yeah.
All right, let's move on. What else?
Today is also just kind of taking a little break into the food is Sausage Pizza Day, which you like sausage. You like sausage on your pizza.
No, I don't like every kind of sausage.
Right.
I only like the real Italian sausage.
Yes, real Italian sausage.
It's funny that you say that on a day like today, because there was a poll released on Food Beast, which is the most hated food brand in every country of the world. The most hated fast food brand in every country of the world. All right. Well, topping the list of the most countries that hate a certain, it's really kind of heartbreaking. KFC was number one. There was 14 countries, but now they're usually small. 14 small countries listed KFC as the number one hated fast food restaurant.
Interesting.
Now, the bigger countries, they didn't, but the smaller countries did. And then Wendy's was second with 11 countries.
Really?
Yeah.
So burgers are good.
Yes, but you get outside of the United States and it is different.
Yeah, it really is. Very different.
However, in the United States, do you know what the number one... Oh, wait a minute. I just saw something. All right, before we tell you what the United States most hated is, you know what the number one hated fast food chain in Mexico is?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Because that's not real Mexican.
It's true. All right. So then the number one, and of course, let's just say Canada. Canada, their most hated was Orange Julius.
Oh, really? I love Orange
Do
Julius.
they have enough to hate them there? I don't know.
Right?
All right. So in the United States, the number one, and we're getting back to the topic you brought up, the number one hated fast food in the entire United States is Domino's Pizza.
Domino's Pizza. Okay. All right. I'm so glad it wasn't Pizza Hut because I like Pizza Hut.
Yeah. So, but today is a sausage day.
Sausage pizza day, yes.
I love sausage as long as it's the good kind.
Yeah. I kind of have to be in the mood for sausage on my pizza, but if I do, I'm going to have like mushrooms and onions.
I like
and
it
green
though
peppers.
when they cut it up like. Okay, well first let's just do two different kinds. There's one that it looks like pepperoni, like they slice it the same and everything. Okay, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
But then when you go to a place like Blaze, which if you've ever come to Orlando and you've gone to Disney Springs, you've surely tried Blaze Pizza.
Yes.
If you haven't, they are in fast food, other places. There's one in the Cincinnati, Ohio airport. I believe Lexington, Kentucky has one. So they're starting to pop up in different places. I know Tulsa has one. I know that there's one in Rancho because me and Brian have gone to eat there when we've gone to California. So Blaze has the chunky, like clumps of sausage, which is really good as well. So I like sausage pizza. You're right. Yeah. So okay, what else?
I'm going to kind of combine the last two that I'm going to talk about. One is Kick Butt Day. Now this is going to be.
We talked about this last year.
We talked about it last year.
Yes.
And it's not just go kick somebody in the butt.
Right.
Because you
actually get out there and do something.
Do something. And then the next one is Day of the Girl. Now, what that means, and the reason I wanted to combine them is because there's so many girls that are kicking butt and taking names. I mean, they are doing something, and it's just evident in the guests that when we had Johanna on and the guests we're going to be having this week. I mean, it's just...
It is Ladies Week.
It is. It really is. So, but Day of the Girl recognizes the challenges that girls face in order to kick butt and take names. There's a little bit of more resistance, but I personally believe that it's getting, I want to say it's getting a little bit easier than maybe it was 20 years ago for girls, for women to really be doing their thing and, just
there's always going to be pockets of difficult
always
people.
Going to be that way.
There will always be difficulties somewhere.
Yeah.
But I agree that it is so refreshing to see for the most part, not entirely, and I know that we probably should not stop going until we get it full, but for the most part, it's not just, stay at home and cook dinner and have babies and wash dishes. Now people are actually getting out of the way, and it doesn't matter.
Well, and
what your sex or what your ethnicity is, or you can actually make a difference in the world, and you should.
Now, here's what I want to say about that is what in the article that I had read also about this Day of the Girl Day. Is really those that are doing something, really speaking to some girls' lives and do something. You spoke a little bit yesterday about when we opened, we were talking about pro-life, and I'm not getting into that.
Yeah.
But you were talking about encouraging
the girls who
have gone through either abortions or they're considering it, or and honestly, it started moving. It really does move my heart. We really do have a heart for girls that have gone through those kinds of things, and so those that are in leadership, women that are in leadership, take what you have inside of you and really encourage somebody else, no matter what part of life they're in, no matter what, and be just be an encouragement and be an inspiration to them. So
absolutely,
again, just let this day be a reminder of that. So do
and
something
get out there and kick some butt.
Yeah, kick some butt.
All right. Anything else? Any other national
days?
Nope, that's it. All right.
That's
listen. Let me check out this. We keep talking about mashups in food and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I do not understand. I guess people have been eating it this way for a while, so they decided to just combine it into one thing. Yeah. I personally think when they do that, it loses something.
Yeah.
When they do, because some people, it's always been great to do this and this. Like there's a milk and ice cream flavored cookies. Milk and cookies flavored ice cream.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't taste as good as milk and cookies.
Right.
It just doesn't.
Right.
All right, so when you mash things up, something gets lost. Pepsi is getting ready to debut Cracker Jack flavored soda.
No. I'm sorry.
I'll be honest with you. I've had Cracker Jacks in a Coke or in Pepsi or whatever, a soft drink, and it's good. In fact, I know Cracker Jack's got peanuts and stuff in it. We used to take cashews or peanuts and pour the whole bag in a bottle of Coke.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that done.
And eat them at the same time. It's delicious. I can't imagine that this is going to turn out good.
To each his own. I mean,
I just think when you mash it up like that, it doesn't.
Literally, because then once it does, the popcorn gets it's gross.
Yeah.
It's going to get all, yeah.
So we talked about pizza. Today's Sausage Pizza Day.
Yes.
DiGiorno, which we've bought on occasion, especially for Peyton. He likes
loves
to eat.
it.
They have a new mac and cheese pizza, which I think we said a few weeks ago somebody else had come out with it. See, there's a lot of crossings of the line. People are starting to, I think this pandemic has really started to make people try new things.
Yes. But now, see, mac and cheese pizza, it kind of sort of goes together. In
Somebody else, though, we just talked about this a few weeks ago.
We did.
Somebody was doing a mac and cheese pizza.
Yeah, people are just trying things out.
All right, here's one more, a couple more, actually. Taco Bell is testing a new fajita quesalupa.
Okay.
So it looks like, honestly, it looks like it's a fajita with a quesadilla and a chalupa all combined into one. Well, so what's up with the mashups? Why can't you just enjoy one and then enjoy the other?
Yeah. Just sell it as a combo.
People are losing their minds in this pandemic.
They are.
Like, what are we talking about here?
They really are.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't either.
So good luck with that. All right, that's what's going on around the country today. Let's jump in with our guest as we expand your search. My guest today is somebody who I have had the pleasure of knowing since she was in junior high. She was then and now. She was very comedic. She was very creative. She was this fun-loving little girl in the youth group that we were her youth pastors for, and she was absolutely the best at being a costume creator around Halloween, and you're going to see why in a little bit. But every year we would have this, in the youth group, we would have this fall season Halloween trick-or-treating costume contest at the youth group. And I kid you not, probably 4 years in a row, she won that contest because she came loaded and prepared. And now this young lady is taking that same great personality and creativity and turning the fitness world on its ear. She is JVo, and she is a NASM Certified Nutrition Coach specializing in the implementation of flexible dieting. Man, that sounds like something that we all need to hear. Also, tracking macros and taking that approach to nutrition. Jackie is the owner of JVo Fit, a business in which she provides one-on-one coaching and accountability with clients to help them reach their personal health goals. She actually wrote the program that Preston and Jody and I do at the gym 3 days a week right now. I'm so excited to have her on the program. It's one of our kids. This is JVo, everybody. Hey, Jackie, how are you? Good to see you.
Hi. Good to see you, Brent.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm just gearing up for Halloween.
I'm sure.
I'm sure. The nutrition, I might just have some candy. I've got to stock up.
Oh, my gosh. Are we allowed to have that? Okay.
We're allowed to have that with the method.
All right. So, all right. I've already talked about it a little bit before we get into what you're doing these days. Listen, I give you props because those years in the youth group, and that was a long time ago, but you came so creative with your costumes. I know one year you were, we're going to post some pictures up, Edward Scissorhands one year, and you full on, how long did that take you to make those?
A couple days. And somehow I found stencils online where someone had made stencils of his scissor hands. So it was a whole project.
You guys
tracing them, cutting them out, spray paint, everything.
I was going to say, I don't even think we're doing it justice. I mean, she painstakingly made every finger the scissors, and it was impressive. Then I think you did Mary Catherine Gallagher 1 year. Remind me.
Gallagher.
Yep. What else?
How to get her superstar dance down.
Yes, and I remember you sniffing your armpit, sticking your hands in your armpits.
Yeah.
And then what was the other ones? You came. Those two stood out the most, but I remember you every year rocked it. So.
Well, since I was in the drama group for Access Youth at the time, I was always just thinking of other characters to do for summer camp and stuff. So you probably just remember that you always saw me playing different characters.
It's true. It's true. You always were. So.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into a little bit of what you're doing these days, because I know that You're a fitness coach now, and it's easy to kind of jump to that immediately. But the backstory that how you got into that is really kind of impressive. Now, I know there's a history of kind of fitness in your family. Your dad played the Incredible Hulk at Universal Studios, and he was always very – I mean, the pictures of him when he was younger was quite impressive. So I'm sure that was kind of a baseline that was like in the back of your mind the whole time. But then you had some personal things that happened that kind of started you on this journey. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my dad, I would say it's in my DNA because he did bodybuilding and moved out to Los Angeles, and he was working out with the original Mecca crew, the Arnold Schwarzenegger and all those guys. He was part of that crew before he got saved. So bodybuilding, I mean, I would say it's in my DNA just because I emulated that and would see him, still training when we grew up. But for me personally, I didn't really give a whole lot of consistency to it until after I had a near fatal car accident back in December 2012. So almost 9 years ago, actually. And after that, I had fractured my C6 and C7 vertebrae, and they operated on it. And the doctors actually said that I would never be able to fully rotate my neck. And it was just looking like the recovery was not going to be one where, you could really be active. So I was fully recovered from that and ended up training for a half marathon that I completed November of the following year. But during that training,
wait a minute. You did a half marathon? I didn't know about that one. I knew about the car crash and the recovery, but so you started running.
Yeah. So, the Lord put it on my heart to just start training for just a half marathon. And so it was summer of the following year. So about 6 months after the wreck, I started training for that. And the whole reason why I even got into bodybuilding or, weightlifting was because I was actually using it to cross train for the half marathon, because you have to keep your muscles where they can support you long term. So when I went into the gym, it wasn't like, hey, I'm going to get super strong or I want these muscles. It was more like, I want to be able to support this run that I'm doing. And I thought I was going to be a runner after that. But during the training, that's when I really fell in love with weightlifting, to be honest. And then it just kind of went from there. But it was that car wreck that definitely started my fitness journey of just either seriously considering my health and appreciation for that. And then just taking care of my body in the best way I know how.
All right. So then you surprised me. You did a half marathon. So that's awesome. And then you started wanting to get into like the posing bodybuilding and like the fitness modeling and things like that. And then you ended up winning like a big, state competition. So what was that process like? Because that has to be, I've heard other people that go to elite level type events and they just say, your life is gone at that point. You're just training all the time. Mm-hmm. Is that what it was like, or how did that process work out?
In a lot of ways it was. I mean, it definitely is a big chunk of your time. I think a lot of people, it's so easy to see these people up on stage, but the prep work that goes into it, some of these people are training for it seriously, dedicating every hour to it for 12, 16 weeks leading up to it. And what I had been doing while I started bodybuilding, getting ready for the half marathon, and kind of mulling over that idea, like, oh, I may want to compete in something. Well, I started training like that towards the end of the half marathon training. And so really, I look back at it, and my training for that competition was over a half year, really. And then very seriously dialing in your diet for 12 weeks or so. But it is a second job. And laundry alone, because you're at the gym a lot, you're washing a lot of clothes, you're prepping meals. I mean, that whole stuff, it's a lot of work. It's really rewarding. And it taught me a lot just in the preparation for it. It teaches you a lot about your self-discipline and your focus and just consistency and determination. I mean, I learned so much just in the preparation for it. So winning first place at that competition was just the cherry on top.
Yeah. Now, what was the actual competition? Because
so
you won two things there, right? You had, because I remember you standing there with two swords. That meant you won two different divisions. So what was it again?
So they have a category. It was the NPC division, which is a division of like amateur bodybuilding, which if you place well enough and do, national shows, you could get your pro card is what they call it, and then compete on a pro level. So on the NPC level, this was a national qualifier. So I could have gone on to compete nationally for my pro card. But the two categories I competed in were just the main open category, where everybody that was ranging in my height, and they kind of have height limits on it for girls. I competed in that division, but then I also competed in one where it was like your first time. So those usually the judges will cut you a little bit of slack on or something when they're judging you. And that's more geared for people that are just entering and maybe they're not really wanting to qualify for nationals. They just kind of want to dip their toes in. So I said, I'm going to sign up for that. And, might as well. And then I'm also going to go to the open class and compete in that category with the rest of the ladies.
All right. So now, folks, this journey gets a little even crazier after all this. But I want to before we jump to that part, I want to ask you this, because some people, have thoughts going, when they're going through these seasons in their life, and they kind of have a thought like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to be able to go and compete in a bodybuilding contest or something like that? But to take that next step and actually follow through and do it is a huge hurdle that most people never. I mean, it almost gets never out of the. Wouldn't that be nice? What do you think was the big thought for you to actually? I know you were recovering, but to actually say, I'm going to go compete in this. Something. I mean, it's just such a small, select few people ever get to do that. What do you think that? What was the big thought for you that made you cross on over?
Oh, that's a good question. The way I've been wired and kind of like how it's in my dad's DNA is we just, I would say we have a certain tenacity. So if I have a thought and I'm determined to do something, then I will definitely set a plan to implement it and follow through. But then just the passion that I had for fitness too, and also an intrinsic motivator to just challenge myself, to step outside of my comfort zone and do something I haven't done, I would say was big for me, because I had never done anything like that. But I just wanted to set a challenge for myself and actually watch myself accomplish it. And it does wonders for your confidence just in every area of life, on goal setting and other tasks that you have or things that you want to accomplish, when you're able to say, okay, I have that under my belt. I did this, I rose to the challenge and I stepped up to the plate. So for me, it was that intrinsic motivation to be able to look back at myself and know that I didn't, hold back. I went full force and I actually decided to move forward.
Did you have moments of, and I'm sure you did, but sometimes it's great to hear those kind of, did you have those moments of doubt where you are even like extremely nervous or fearful or whatever? What if this doesn't work? Or how am I going to get to this next part? Or did you have those times?
Absolutely. I remember two specific things leading up to it because I was already very lean. My muscles were really cut, and bodybuilding is such a subjective sport. So sometimes they're looking for something that's different. And I remember a bodybuilder guy saw me at the gym, and he told me, this was maybe a month before the competition. He said, "Hey, don't be disappointed if you don't place well. The judges usually go for this, and you just are looking really, really lean." And that did a number on my self-confidence because I was thinking to myself, well, I'm just trying my best. Obviously, for me, I don't like to come in anything less than first. I want to know that I rose to the top and achieved my goal. But I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm not even going to probably place at all. I look awful, and you're already scrutinizing how you look. So it really did a number on my self-confidence then. And I just had to press through that. And then 2 weeks, or no, actually 10 days before the competition, the coach I had hired, we were eating, I had so much fish in my diet. And the fish actually, I believe, created some mercury poisoning for me because I was sick like 10 days before the competition, to where I was like, thinking maybe I'm not going to be able to compete because I was so ill. I could not make it to the gym. I was laying in bed. Once I cut out the fish, that kind of fixed things. You know, I alternated other stuff for my own self. So that kind of fixed it. But I look back and I was thinking, wow, that was so close to the competition. That's not the time where you want to make any major changes. You want to be dialed in completely. And so 10 days before, I was laying in bed thinking, oh my goodness, I have worked this hard to be sick, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a big challenge too. And then you just go through mental struggles throughout it. There will be good days, and then there's, you know, some really tough days, and you just got to power through it and keep your eye on the end goal.
Yeah. Okay, so you win this contest, you fight through all of this to get, and you win, and then your health takes another just like huge U-turn on you, and you had to go and fight a disease. What happened there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, which is, they called it ulcerative colitis. It's similar to Crohn's. And I don't have a history of it in my family. So my own personal thought was because my diet had been so rigid for so long that my body was then attacking some of the things when I was eating normally again, because I started introducing normal foods back into my diet and everything. And I never had any problems before this. So that's kind of the conclusion I came to on my own end. There's really not a whole lot of studies that have been done on the origins of things, but that was difficult for me because I couldn't really have strength to make it to the gym. I was on bed rest quite a bit. And then I ended up being in and out of the hospital a couple times for some transfusions, just because I had lost so much blood, and I was just very weak. So they were giving me nutrients that way. But yeah, that was an incredibly tough time. That was the biggest challenge to get through yet on my fitness journey.
Wow. Well, I'm setting all this up, folks, because the reason we're taking our time to tell you this part of it is because Jackie went on, and obviously you can see her sitting here. She recovered, and now she has become her own certified coach. She got certified with the NASM, and she is actually has an extensive client list. That meant you had to branch out, and you got to go do something you never done before again, and that is to become a licensed fitness instructor with licensed, incorporated, state thing, licensed by the state, and you become an actual business owner. I know, because we've had to do that ourselves. That process alone is enough to make you want to pull your hair out. But
yeah.
Were you able to lean back on some of this old success that you had in order to take you on to the next level, and walk us through a little bit of what that journey was like?
Yeah, so after I had recovered from the autoimmune stuff, I started having a real, actually personal interest in my own nutrition and health. I kind of felt just motivated to take it back in my own hands. And the diet I had been on for preparation and stuff, I knew that's not something I could carry through long term. So it was really 6 or 7 years ago after that I started really diving into just what makes up things in nutrition and why we follow certain stuff, or, why people promote different foods versus others. So I stumbled upon flexible dieting and I just got passionate for it. So I ended up just totally changing social media pages and stuff to promote flexible dieting and this method and kind of create awareness, because at the time it rolled out and really got popularized, it was very controversial among the fitness industry. A lot of people, especially coaches, they didn't want to promote it because of the fun foods you can eat. It was frowned upon if you ate a Pop-Tart, or in my, experience, a toaster strudel or something. It was just giving a bad rap to fitness. But then I started learning about, just the nutrients and how you can manipulate certain like macros or calories and implement the flexible dieting method in order to achieve your fitness goals. And that was the method that for me personally, I said, I can follow this for life. This is so easy once I had it down. And then eventually it just kind of turned into this thing where I ended up helping people that you've had on your podcast that I grew up with. And then some of their friends. And then, I started thinking about it. And the more I thought about it, I said, okay, this should actually be more of a business. I mean, why not? So I went ahead and just filed the paperwork and went through that process. And then I actually told myself, okay, I actually want to have training so I can have a license behind what I do. So that way, at least, when people think of coaches or people selling services like this, they know that they're getting someone who's actually done their homework and went through courses versus, hey, I prepped for a fitness competition 7 years ago. So that was really the motivation behind that, is I wanted to make sure that people, when I do help them, they have a confidence that I know what I'm doing and that I can actually help them get their goals.
Yeah. And she's a degree from the University of Oklahoma as well. So she's not like, just some hayseed that's like, hey, I'm fit, come listen to what I have to say. She's business, right? That's what your degree was in, business?
Similar. It was marketing, but same type of thing, marketing communications. Yeah. So we got a lot of business classes with those degrees.
Okay, so let's talk about the program just a little bit, because we don't want to give everything away. We want everybody to come see you and actually take part of your program. But I hear you talking about Pop-Tarts and toaster strudels. And it's so funny, folks, that she because she was a marketing major, she knows how to use social media. And so I feel like every time I open up Instagram or Facebook, your story's like continually refreshing, because you're posting so many things from your clients. Love portraits with toaster strudels with the hearts around them, and cooking tips and all kinds of things like that. Can I just eat junk on a diet like this?
No, that's a good question. I get asked that a lot, actually, with people who are just figuring that, out, and that flexible dieting is a thing. It does allow you to be able to get some of the treats and the stuff that you like in your diet. So I have a big sweet tooth personally. And I tell my clients there's one thing I've got to have every day, and that's a toaster strudel before I, go work out at the gym or whatever. I never want to ever get rid of that in my diet. So, no, you can't just eat junk. I couldn't have 50 toaster strudels, but the method I follow does allow me to have, a toaster strudel. I get, a cookie at night if I want. It allows me to still find that balance and enjoy foods, but also I have a lot of healthy stuff in there too.
Can you get really fast results just from adjusting your diet and having nutritional goals, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, you'll get some results with, just dialing in your nutrition. I think anyone will find that once you actually are monitoring how much you're eating, or you're really tracking your calorie intake or your macros, which is what I do, I think you'll get some results. But really, the dynamic duo is going to be on the fitness side too. So like the training program you guys said you're doing. That's awesome, because you're consistently working out and resistance training, and you're developing muscles. And then a lot of people, they want to look toned or, feel fit. And that's going to come with developing the muscles and then your nutrition that supports the muscles you've developed. So really it takes both and being consistent in both areas to get some good results.
Okay, before we let you go, folks, this is JVo. She's a certified fitness instructor and trainer, and helps you with your diet and all kinds of things like that. Before we let you go, as a young woman and starting off in your own business, in the day and age we live in, I'm giving you kudos because I think you're using the social media aspect and your marketing just so well. But what encouragement would you give somebody else in your age bracket? I'm not even sure if that's the right terminology, but somebody young starting out, really getting going. What's the big encouraging factor for you to help them along?
To just be authentic and be yourself. You've known me for like a couple decades now.
That's right. Yeah.
I've always been a goofy and nerdy, just comedic person. So I really try and let that part shine on my social media as some of the posts that I do, and still keep it fun. And I feel like when I do that and I actually let my personality through, that people tend to engage more or ask questions more. So as far as a business side goes, just being my authentic self, tends to get more people saying, okay, what's this? Maybe I should follow, or maybe I should ask questions. But then also just knowing that I'm not going to go outside of being my authentic self or go outside my character. So in the fitness industry, it's kind of hard to do that because you see so many people, masses, just posting stuff that probably isn't high quality just to gain attraction or attention. And I decided when I'm doing that business on my pages, that's just not something I'm going to do. I want to make quality content and engaging content and stuff that's actually going to benefit the people that view it and are looking into it.
Yeah, when I watch your stuff, I see you doing a night with a fusion drama group. I'm like, she's doing a skit right now. She's still the same person that I've known since she was in junior high. So, yes. When you did the, answering the questions thing and the walking the dogs and all, I'm just like, she's the same exact person that I've always known. And it does work, and we're super proud of you. Jody and I talk about you all the time.
You.
Again, like I said, our feed seems like the stories feed is always you. So we're always like, oh my gosh, she's doing something else. So super proud of you, super happy for you, folks. If you'd like to follow along Jackie on the journey, or actually maybe perhaps become a client, there you can go to JVo Fit. She's on Instagram at JVo_, and that's a 0. And then on Facebook, she's at JVo Fit. And she is looking for clients, so she's really good about returning messages. We've actually been able to send her questions, and she answers every time. And people say, "Well, it's because you know her." I've heard other people say the same thing about her and her services. So, Jackie, thanks for coming on. We're super proud of you, and wish you nothing but the best. And tell your sisters and your mom and dad hi for us. We think about them fondly often. So
I will. We love you guys.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank
All right.
you, too.
All right, that's JVo, everybody, and now let's stop for directions. David said in Psalm chapter 139, verse number 14, he says, I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows right well. Inside each of you is a person that God designed specifically to be unique and do something wonderful here on the earth. So many times we're comparing ourselves to somebody else or wanting to be somebody else that we ignore this high-powered, ultra-impactful, and awesome gift that God has placed inside of us. Today, as I was listening to Jackie's story, I heard her say, and I can testify, that she is still the same person using the same gifts that she's always had inside of her instead of trying to imitate somebody else in her field. That is the beauty of your gift. You can lean on these gifts that are inside of you And with hard work, discipline, and some integrity, those gifts, the Bible says, will make room for you. What kind of room are we talking about? The room to be successful, the room to be influential, the room to be happy while you're here on this earth. Listen, Jesus paid a price for your soul, but that price also included everything that he's built inside of you. Learn to love the gifts inside of you. Don't take those things for granted. Learn to be confident in your gifting. Lean on everything that you have. Allow God to guide your steps. And watch that same God open door after door after door on this journey that no man can shut. That's going to wrap it up for the show today. I'm so happy that Jackie was able to come and be with us today. We are clients of hers. We encourage you to seek out some of her information. Join us next time on the program. We're going to continue to have great guests that can actually help you expand your search. Thanks to my beautiful wife, Jody, over there in the control room, making things happen over there today for another great show. Until then, I hope we helped you expand your search today. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks for joining us today. Connect with us on @ExpandingYourSearch on Facebook and Instagram and @ExpandingSearch on Twitter. Relive any of our episodes on YouTube. We're available wherever podcasts are found, including Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. You can also download the Direction Ministries app on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Take some time today to expand